Today we're catching some sun and waves with Kyera, a QHS admin whose life is as vibrant and refreshing as a seaside breeze. What currents brought her to the sunny shores of the quantum shift? Let's surf behind the scenes to see the wave she's been riding.
Hi, I'm Kyera, and I am honored to be amongst some amazing admin and some phenomenal members in this QHS project. I come from a personal path of forgiveness and allowing people to change and to grow. I remember as a very young child, I remember hearing like my instructions for my life. Somebody yelling down at me, remember, people can and do change, and forgiveness heals all. And that's been my mission, to really allow people to change, to grow, to forgive in a way to just release. And I admit it's not always easy. I get caught, but I find that I don't have a past to talk about. Of course, I can pull up stories, just like if I were to go read the Akashic records and look at my lifetimes, or the soul records and look at my experiences and who knows however many galaxies around the universes. But they're stories. And to me, they only come up when they're relevant for my lesson today or my experience today. Otherwise, they're in the past. So I won't be talking about a lot of that. I might touch on that I did grow up in another country where, in the era when I grew up, a lot of us had more freedom to run around and play and come back at dark and do whatever. But I grew up on a small island, sort of small island in Asia, and I didn't have a curfew. I could just go and do whatever I wanted to do and explore. And I've always been pretty much a bit of an adventurer loner. I like my friends and I like doing things with people, but it seemed like my friends all had these things that wanted to hold them back. Not that I don't have any. I do have things that get in my way and hold me back. But my sense of adventure is broad. And I will go and explore and talk to anybody and walk down a street and walk down a trail and climb over the mountains and take a bus across the island. And I'll do that all by myself, even as a kid. And I love that. I love that part of me. I love that. And then I got older and I did travel a lot. I had a lot of adventure. And then fast forward to maybe 5 or 6 years, 7 years ago now, maybe, I had another head injury, and that one sort of reshaped everything. That one brought my big, wide world down to a tiny little bubble. And it's odd because the most recent head injury, it felt like it reset all the old ones, old injuries, whatever the after effect were from my injury when I was very young. I dove into a pool and hit the bottom of the pool, smashed my face. And I had orthodontics and all this stuff, everything to try and help me get all that right. And it never worked. It just got worse. But I didn't know that head injuries were a thing. All I knew was I was a kid. I hit the bottom of a pool, and then I bounced, and then I came out not realizing that everything was different. I was so young, I just grew up with it. And then later on, I thought, I think I have Asperger's, because I had all the traits of Asperger's, everything except for the emotional bit. And then I learned later about head injuries and realized that when you have the kind of head injury I had, it actually can create a lot of the same symptoms. So I was dealing with that most of my life, all of my life, in fact. And it created challenges with interactions with people and relationships, because first of all, I am a very independent, different kind of person, and I think of things differently. And I've never bought into rules and regulation. I just always felt like they were, why? Why do I have to do that? Why? I don't understand. Like, if you can explain to me why it makes sense, then I'll understand. But if it's just because you said so, then it doesn't make sense. And I remember my dad used to get really mad at me because I always wanted to know why about everything. I was that why girl. Why? How does that work? What is that about? What are you doing? What's that? How does that work? And I actually love that part about myself, as much as it may annoy my dad or anybody else around me. I actually love that part of myself, my curiosity, my open-minded acceptance of everything as a possibility. And if the more you tell me no, the more I'm going to try to figure it out and show you that no doesn't exist. Although sometimes no does exist, but just because no one's thought of it doesn't mean it can't be done. That's how I think. And that benefited me most of my life. It really helped carry me through. It helped me with that childlike innocence, which allowed me to forgive more easily than if I didn't have that, because I wasn't bogged down by rules and social norms. I never bought into the social norm. I remember when we came back to the States, some kids at my school told me, "Oh, you have to pick who you want your friends to be. You have to pick a group." I said, "I'm not picking a group. I'll pick a friend. And if my friend's over there, I'll go over there. If my friend's over there, I'll go over there." But they said, "Oh, no, you can't do that." And I said to them, "I'm not going to pick any friends because I'm not going to play that game." Life has been up and down for me, good, bad, all over the place. I've had some amazing adventures and some incredibly, incredibly deep, dark struggles. But I believe that because I was told to remember about forgiveness and to let go and to come in, I think I came in this life with this big awareness of a greater purpose and a greater image and a greater there's more to life than what we are shown in the way we live it. And I've known that, and that's kept me it's kept me more effervescent, even though I have these really kind of these deep ebb and flows. So that's a little bit about me. So, but what am I looking for? Why am I here at QHS? Because I am a self-healer. I don't go to doctors. I'll see a chiropractor or an acupuncturist every now and then, but I don't go to doctors. And I will use my inner world to heal. And I get to places sometimes where if I have pain or if I have something I'm struggling with, I can always get through it. Can always get through it. But I got stuck where I could get through the pain, I could get through the moment, I could release it. But there are a couple of patterns in my life that won't change no matter what I do. And there are some bouts of pain that I can get through the pain, but I can't heal what it is. So then fast forward and QHS falls in my lap, and within just a few months, things start changing. All the places where I've reached my plateau, I reached my ceiling and I couldn't do anything, it just started softening and started opening up. It's like breathing life into it. So it's not so rigid. And I'm not through it yet, but I see the opening. And I know that as we keep going and as Dr. A keeps developing more and more, and as we get to the QArc, I know all that's going to blast away and I won't have to worry about that ever again. And then I can keep going with the letting go and the forgiveness and the moving on to the next better phase of me, bringing more and more and more of me out so I can be of service in the way that I know that I was brought here to do. And I know what that is. And I know how I do it and I know why I do it, but I don't have yet the pathway to do it, if that makes sense. And then stepping up and being a part of QHS and helping Cynthia and Dr. A bring this out and be a part of this amazing team to bring this out into the world. Because I just get to be a part of something that's so big and I don't have to do it alone. Because most of my life is me doing everything alone. I don't have to do this alone, and neither do any of us. We all get to do this together. Yet I am doing me. I'm doing me, doing my part. But I get to do me with some amazing people. And I think with my prequel, I want to remember the good things. I want to know that I had a lot of adventure, and those are the things that I want to remember. Any of the hardship, that's part of the past. That's part of another lifetime. I don't care if I don't remember that. As long as I've learned my lessons and take those forward, then I'm good. And I am so looking forward to the other side of that arc so that I can share the next part of my story and the big wows and more and more and more of who I am.
Join us on the prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.